Hey, it's Nikki. Welcome back to Ranting with Ricardo. Uh, I'm here for another recap review because it's my channel. I can do what I want of P Valley Season 1, Episode 5. Trying to finish these out because the new season is coming Friday and I want this all to be done. Also, trying to give y'all like a little reminder of what happened the first season so we get ready for the second season. So, before we get into this recap review, if you're new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people. If you're not new to the channel, please still like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people. Now, this recap review was supposed to come, well, it's now 12/19. It was supposed to come yesterday on the 28th. However, I had other stuff to do, so I kept pushing it back. And I was just like, I'm going to come to y'all later after like I wake up and do the other stuff I was supposed to do. So that's what happened. Don't be mad at me. Anyway, if you would like to follow me on social media, you want to bless me with something, or you want to do business with me, everything's in the description box below, and also on the rolling ticker that you see going across the screen at the bottom. Now, episode 6, 7, and 8 will come. 6 will come later on today. 7 Monday, and then 8 will be Tuesday if the schedule and myself can keep it like that. So let's get into it. So this is episode 5 of the first season. Now we see a woman named Lauren. She just got a divorce. She's trying to have a divorce party. She turned up. It's Mercedes' last dance, but we all know Mercedes didn't actually do her last dance because she went and whooped Patrice down to the building that was supposed to be Mercedes' gym, but turned out to be Patrice's church because Patrice stole all her money. Yeah. So she blowing all her divorce settlement. She having a good time. She had shots. Yoli is giving her shots. She said, I don't want these. Give me the whole bottle. Snatch the whole bottle from Yoli. So it's a lot. It's a lot. So as Mercedes and Gidget is dancing on her, she blowing money. She throwing money, throwing stacks. And I was like, ooh, hey. And she just keep throwing stacks and stacks and stacks until it's only not Mercedes, Mississippi and Gidget left in the little private dancing, like the champagne room with her. And as Mississippi is giving her lap dance, she start crying, like boo-hoo crying, like she don't want to go back to her big house and be alone. She mad that he left her. It's a lot. And she just crying and she crying. And Mississippi was like, trying to give her words of encouragement and telling her she'll have to cry it out and, eventually get over it because, you know, you got divorced, but hell, you got money and a big ass house. So come on now. Eventually, old girl passed out, and then Mississippi and Kitchen was like, we gonna get all this money. Okay. You see all this money sitting around, we're gonna get it all. Okay. All of it. Now, the next morning, the crew is all there and they see this red notice on the bank and it's for foreclosure. The bank is going up on auction in 2 weeks, 14 days. And, everybody's like, how this gonna work out? We got bills, Jupiter trying to finish nursing school. Like, how is all this gonna work out? Everybody about to be out of a job. And Mississippi is happy because she going viral from the night before. Like, she's really blowing up on social media. A, due to the Little Murder song, and B, due to her talent, which her talent made the song better and the song made her talent better. So boom, she going viral. Lil Murder, like his song keeps getting replayed, people singing it. It's a good time had by all. Now, Uncle Clifford is coming out of the bank because y'all remember from last episode, him and Lil Murder, not him, sorry, I don't want to misgender Uncle Clifford. She and Lil Murder got it in the night before in office. So Clifford woke up in the bank, had to pull Lauren up out of there off the floor because Miss Girl was passed out, and she is being walked out by Uncle Clifford, still singing Lil Murder song. And when Uncle Clifford, like everybody looks sad because the bank is going up on auction. Uncle Clifford thought Mercedes was dead, and then when they told Uncle Clifford, no, Mercedes ain't dead, we about to lose the Pank. Uncle Clifford passed out. I was like, oh my God. The dramatics. But yeah, I would pass out too if they trying to take my business. Like, honey, what is this? So we see Autumn. She's going down to the little money transfer place, and she finds out that the policies have changed because, quote unquote, for them, the people is back up on their feet from the flood. They don't need no more help. So, she can't send no money no more. She's over her transaction, so she can't be sending no more money. And that's jacked up for her because I don't know what she's trying to do with this. Like, I know what she's trying to do with the money at this point because I've already watched this, but by way of these recap reviews, we don't know what she's trying to do with the money. We just know she's trying to get this money. And as her and the palm color lady, who got way too much attitude for my liking, are talking about the whole situation, divorcee Lauren is drunk driving, almost crashes into the building, stops before she can, and then pulls off, and you hear the police coming after her. And it's just like, what the hell, Miss Girl? You can sleep in your car? You can sleep it off? Okay. So the police, they got Lauren, and they take her into the station to Holden. We see Mercedes is getting fingerprinted, getting the mugshot taken, and the girl is singing, and she was like, who sang that? And she was like, Lil Murder. And Mercedes was like, Lil Murder? What? And I was like, yeah, Mercedes. What you don't know is Mississippi danced your turn. And Lil Murder played his song. Yeah, And now they both going viral. Yeah, that's what's going on. If you didn't know, now you know, because you whipped your mama's ass down to the Kroger's or in front of the Kroger's or whatever, and y'all got arrested. Then they said she swung on a cop. So boom. So she been fingerprinted and all that stuff, and the dude that's doing like the fingerprinting and the mugshots happens to be Jesse, the dude that was trying to touch the goodies, and you're not supposed to be touching on her, and got hemmed up by Diamond, thrown out, and his wallet taken. So he the police, and I'm like, damn, this could be either be like this can be bad because he's still mad about the fact that he ain't got his wallet back. Now they put her and Patrice in the same cell, and when Mercedes realized that Patrice is in the cell with her, she hauls off and punches Patrice and has Patrice by the her tacky ass wig. And they going at it again. And some lady, because Jesse was like, "Stop trying to fight your mom," and some lady in there, older lady, was like, Mercedes don't have no respect for her mother. I don't care what she did. You don't put your hands on your mama. And I'm like, I don't really think that Patrice and Mercedes is mother and daughter like that. We find out later some other stuff, and then the stuff we found out before, where she would have Mercedes down there bending over and all that to get food at the Waffle House or whatever. So it's like, I don't think they got a mother daughter relationship like that. And then Jesse's like, y'all keep fighting, I'm gonna trump up everybody's charges in here. And Mercedes is like, he could do that, and everybody's like, he the law up in here, he could do whatever he want. And I was like, oh, so abusing power. Mm. They do that everywhere. I was gonna say where they do that at, but they do that everywhere. Yeah, these men ain't shit. Especially when they got a little bit of power and it's gone to their heads, and they feel like they've been wronged. They've decided that they gonna make you hurt like they hurt, even though they not truly hurt. You just got your wallet taken, but you don't know how to keep your motherfucking hands to yourself. When they say no touching, that means what? No touching. So we get back into like the main room of the police station, and some dude is at the desk talking about how his wife got caught in the flood. He been searching for her 2 months. It's also sad. Oh, the tears. Oh, the tears. And we don't see his face, but we find out that his name is Montavious Hill. And I was like, you gonna be a problem. I see you in your nice suit and your little hat. You either a pimp looking for one of his girls, or you somebody else, and you gonna be a problem. Clifford come up in there because she want to know where this foreclosure notice come from, seeing that Sheriff Bailey is on her payroll. Like, what is this? What's going on? Tell me what's happening. And Sheriff Bailey takes Uncle Clifford back into his office, and they're talking, and he was like, well, I've been cleaning up your messes all night. Lauren, the divorcee, she was drunk driving. and I wasn't the one who went down there and put the foreclosure notice on the door. One of my deputies did. And Uncle Clifford is just like, I pay you to keep stuff like this from happening. What the is going on? And it's just like, Uncle Clifford, we gotta hold you responsible for some of this because you ain't pay that 55K that you owe. Because we find out when he's talking to Mercedes that it's 55K that you still owe for the bank and all that stuff. And they get to talk about Mayor Ruffin and just all the BS he's trying to do. And Uncle Clifford is like, how can y'all let this happen? Is this even legal? And basically, Sheriff Beto was like, first of all, when it comes to the whole tequila and titties rule, you need to tell Yoli to stop being so heavy handed on them drinks. Like, you got to stop that. And then you got to make sure these people at least have somewhere to sleep it off if they're going to get this drunk to the point where they could have crashed and took out a whole bunch of people. Like, that's like one of the main things you got to worry about. And then when it comes to if any of this is legal, he's the mayor. He can basically do whatever he wants, no matter if it's legal or not. So the paying of the closing will happen unless you figure out a way to pay all the money you owe, or you figure out how to stop this casino from coming to Chuckalisa. I'm just saying. Then he tells the sheriff tells Uncle Clifford, Mercedes been in jail. They arrested her last night for putting a pause on her mama. So then we get back to the sales, and some dude is whacking it off to Mercedes, and I was like, ew, it's so disgusting, it's so demeaning. And Lauren drunk tells Mercedes that Keyshawn danced in her place. So Uncle Clifford comes back there and tells Mercedes about the pink bin and foreclosure, because Mercedes initially was like, "You got to get me out of here. You got to get me out of here." And Uncle Clifford was like, "I'll put some money on your thing." But the foreclosure stuff comes up, so Mercedes tells her, keep the money, put it down on the bank because you can't let it go into foreclosure and we can't lose it. Now, after Uncle Clifford leaves because Patrice Woodbine decides to open her big ass mouth, Mercedes and her get into a verbal spat because Mercedes is like, that woman, talking about Uncle Clifford, has done more for me in the 7 years than you have done in my lifetime. That woman that you keep talking about is more of a mother to me than you are. And Patrice Woodbine is so taken aback and appalled, and it's just like Mercedes is just like, what do you expect? You stole all her money that she initially helped you with. Even though you were helping her, she initially was helping you, getting good with the church people and help y'all get a loan. And instead of you giving her money back so she can get her a gym and do what she needs to do for her life, you decided to steal it from her. You decided to steal from her to buy the building up from under her and open you up a church. And let's be clear, you said the Lord forgave you for a lot of stuff and things always come back around. Yeah, this gonna come back around on your ass because who steals from their child like this? What type of toxic parenting do you did you do to this girl? And Mercedes is like, yeah, we're talking back about Patrice not being a good mother. She was like, at the age of 3, Mercedes had a gas bill and a Dillard's card in her name. And one of the women up in there was like, yep, my mama did that to me too. And I was like, my mama ain't do that, but I knew a few people whose mamas fucked up their credit before they even knew what credit was by putting bills in their name, putting credit cards in their name, and then running the bills up and not paying them. So yeah, you kind of fucked your daughter from the very beginning. And Patrice is like, God forgave me, and so will she. I was like, she can forgive you for her, but I doubt by the time by the time we done with this whole season or the next season that's coming, or however many seasons this show get, I doubt y'all will ever have a real relationship because not only have you put bills in her name, had her bending over for truckers so they buy y'all food, but you also stole, I want to say, what, 20 plus grand from her? You're a terrible parent. Like, how are you going to pay the mortgage on that building? Because Mercedes ain't gonna help you after this. Now, Mercedes calls Gidget because Gidget is the only phone number she knows by heart, and she's telling her about needing help about she needs somebody to come bail her out. And Gidget was like, "Why was you fighting your mom?" And she was like, "How you know about that?" She was like, "They've been playing it on the news. They had to blur some parts because some things was popping out." But Mercedes is just like begging, like she needs help. And Gidget was like, "I thought you had your money. Why don't you bail your own self out?" And she's like, "Patrice stole everything. She stole it all." And the fucked up thing is she stole it and went and bought the building I was supposed to buy. So Gidget was like, "I'll do what I can." And Gidget was trying to give her mama her pain pills or whatever pills she got and make the smoothie. And while she's doing this, the lady yelling at her. So it's just like, come on, give Gidget a break. She could hardly think right now. Her mama yelling at her. She's trying to help you. It's a lot. So this we see Jesse walk up on Mercedes at the payphone, and I was like, "Oh my god, what's about to happen?" The way like the way they had it lit and the way he was like coming up to her because he's taller than her, and she's like he's taller, she's shorter, and he's kind of towering over her. I was like, "Oh my god, what's gonna happen? Don't do nothing to Mercedes. Oh my god, do I need to jump through this screen and fight?" No. He gives her his jacket because he's like, "It's gonna be cold." So it's like, he may abuse his power, but at least he's nice enough to give you a jacket because most of them wouldn't. Now, as Mercedes comes back and Patrice, goes to shake her hand and talking about, forgive me. And the reason I stole your money was to open a church so I could preach because the man down in the pulpit down to the church I was funneling your money through wasn't going to let me. And she was like, I needed it more. And Mercedes was like, no, I needed it more because I was trying to open a gym so I could prove that not only did I have a stable income, but that I could be a fit mother to my daughter, Terica. And Patrice is like, no, you need to leave that girl where she at. Shell's a godly woman. She's her mother, which, you know, Shell may be raising her, but that's Mercedes' daughter. And I need backstory on the whole Mercedes, Shell, Terica, all that whole entire situation. Because we know Mercedes has to be about 25, which means she had to start stripping at, so she's been stripping about 7 years, 18. So it's just like, what is this whole situation? Like, what is going on? I need to know. Like, I need to know. And she keeps saying Shell is her mother. Shell is a godly woman. She took care of another woman's child. And it's hard to look at the face of a child who was born from an infidelity with born from an infidelity. So obviously Mercedes, I don't know how old Mercedes was when she had Terica, but we know Terica is up there in either like getting close to the end of middle school or she's a teen at this point. So it's just like, how old was this grown ass man, and how old was Mercedes when she had got pregnant with Terica and had her, and what caused them to take Terica from Mercedes and give her to the baby daddy's wife? Like, what is that situation? And Mercedes was like, given a chance to raise my child, given a chance to have her and raise her, I would be a better mother than you, Patrice. I would never do my daughter like you've done me. And I also want to know how many kids Patrice have, and do any of her kids other than Mercedes talk to her? Because after today, Mercedes ain't gonna talk to you, Miss Girl. I don't know. I don't know what you're doing, but yeah, there's that. Now the girls go down to the bail bondsman. It's Jupiter, Yoli, Keyshawn, and Gidget, and then Autumn shows up as well. And the bail bondsman was like, the 2K for initially being bailed out, moving violations, parking tickets, everything that's been gone from violations and parking tickets to outstanding warrants. It's gonna be about $5,368, and I want to say 18 cents. And they don't have it. They don't have it. And he tells them, in order to bail her out, y'all either gonna have to put your houses up or put some coochie up. And Gidget tried to come across that desk on him. They had to pull her away. She lost a shoe. Keyshawn over there messing with the stuff on the desk, throwing stuff at him. It was a mess. Now, none of the girls have the money. That's obvious. And they got bills as well. So they end up leaving. And it's just Gidget and Autumn in the parking lot talking about how, Patrice stole all Mercedes' money. And it goes back to Patrice, you ain't shit. You are the bane of my existence. I feel like it didn't. Never mind. Now, Patrice get to preaching to the people inside, and she's trying to get Mercedes to forgive her and understand what she did was righteous, and the church is supposed to happen, and she is supposed to be up there preaching the word of the Lord. And before they could really get into anything, Mercedes makes a bell. Now, we see as Mercedes walking out, she looking around for everybody, and the person that's out there waiting on her is Autumn. Autumn came and bailed her out. They get in the car, and Mercedes just starts boohoo crying, and she's like breaking down because it's just like all her hopes and her dreams and everything she thought she would be able to do by ending stripping and opening her gym is gone. Like all hopes are lost because her money gone. Patrice stole it all. She can't get her daughter back if she doesn't have the gym and can prove to the courts that she is not only a fit mother, but that she has, you know, a legitimate career that is going to keep her at home and be there full time. So it's so fucked up. And Autumn was like, where do you want me to take you? And Mercedes says, anywhere but here. But that crying, that's some real pain right there. Now we see Mayor Buffin, he having like a pre-party to the harvest ball down to the barber shop. And Uncle Clifford come through looking fabulous as always. I like that wig, Uncle Clifford. That's a good blonde. That's a good blonde wig. And Ruffin says the pank is a blight on the community. And I was like, yeah, but the pank has also put a lot of girls through school, has fundraisers, but go off. And Ruffin says Uncle Clifford is something that needs to be erased. No, she does not need to be erased, but that's your own homophobia peeking out, and nobody has time for that, Ruffin. Nobody, okay? Because I fight you now. I jump through the screen to fight you myself. Ruffin then calls Uncle Clifford a tumor that needs to be cut out of the town, and before the tumor part, Uncle Clifford was like, I wonder what the barbershop owner would think about the fact that the white people was getting more than him, more than he would get for selling his barbershop than they get for selling theirs. So obviously with this deal, the white people are getting more money to sell their properties than any of the black folk who own businesses down there. And I was like, yeah, it's giving me coonery. It's giving me tap dancing. It's giving me abuse of power. It's giving me you're stealing. And it's giving me that you don't really give a damn about the people in your community. It's all about photo ops and PR and making yourself look better in front of the people who voted you in because you promised them something, but now you're fucking them when it comes to how much money they will get for selling their businesses, which is basically not even half of what the white people get. I bet you it's like a third or a fourth, and that's some fucked up ish. Now, Uncle Clifford got something planned because Mr. Child Ruffin told her, sorry, don't want to misgender Uncle Clifford, told her, take your rest of your complaints up at Eloise, and she walked up to Eloise and pointed her, beautiful nails at Eloise, and was like, So I was like, Uncle Clifford got something planned, and I'm here for it. I'm trying to not misgender Uncle Clifford, so if I mess up, I'm sorry. Now, Ruffin is mad about the fact that Uncle Clifford had the land appraisal, and it's like, how did Uncle Clifford get the land appraisal? Mm, Yelling at Andre, calling Andre out his name, and he's just like, this deal is fucked up. Um, if they can, Uncle Clifford can get this information out to everybody and tells Andre, you better close the Kyle deal, which Andre was making excuses, but we all know the way Uncle Clifford got the land appraisal documents was from Autumn going over there and getting all that stuff from Andre. Now we get to Lil Murder. He in a club. He throwing money. Mississippi is performing. From the isolated scene, it seems like she's overwhelmed, just like trying to do everything on the pole. But yet, when it comes back to her and the whole entire crowd, she's enjoying the cheers of the crowd. Now, Lil Murder comes back there to the office, and Big L and Clifford in the office trying to rob Peter to pay Pamisha to figure out how they gonna pay the bills up in that bitch, especially with the books being all jacked up. And Big L wants to know when Lil Murder come back there, how he know how to get back here. Uncle Clifford said, "Go take you a break and get your ass out this office." Now, Lil Murder come in there and is like, "Well, I wanted to do what we did last night again, but when I woke up, you was gone." And he wants to take Uncle Clifford out on a date. But the problem is in this situation of trying to take Uncle Clifford out on a date in Chucalissa down there in the Mississippi is whenever anybody of the LGBTQIA plus community goes on a date down there, they either end up shout out to Bondi Blue for creating this term grape juiced, or they end up unalived. And ain't nobody trying to go through them situations. So where we gonna go on a date to that none of this stuff is going to happen to us? Let us know. Let us know what's gonna happen. Okay. And Uncle Clifford keep calling him Lamurder, and he was like, "Nah, my name Lamarcus." I was like, "Okay, Lamarcus." And it's just like, you want to go on a date so bad, but some of these closed-minded people ain't gonna let you live your best life. So, you know, Lamarcus walk up on Uncle Clifford and they start kissing. I was like, "Ooh, y'all getting spicy in the office. Y'all better Lysol that shit when you finish, cause don't nobody want to be sitting in y'all juices." Okay. Now, Keyshawn in the dressing room, and her head is getting big from all the people sliding in her DMs, all the likes she's getting, all the views, all that stuff. She's just so happy. And Toy was like, some things sure do change. And I was just like, Toy, while things change, don't say nothing because it's only going to end up with somebody talking about you. Girl, leave it alone. And then I forgot what her name is, but she comes in and tells Keyshawn her baby daddy outside with the baby. Now we see her baby daddy is a palm colored man with a temper named Derek. And I'm like, never mind. And based off that little conversation they had, it's obvious he wants to control Keyshawn by keeping her pregnant at home. He wants her to not work. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's seen the video and he's trying to keep her, like, he's seen the video and he was like, "Oh, I can see why the people love you." So obviously he's trying to keep her talents locked up and trying to keep her beat down and keep her at her lowest so she won't leave him. And it's just like, that's so fucked up. But it, like, just because it's a show does not mean you don't see this in real life. And a lot of men be doing this where they try to keep the women that they're in relationships with, especially if they have children or they are married to them, who they obviously can see the talent and what they could do in the future if if they are allowed to flourish and really take their talents and do something with it. They try to keep them beat down and tied down to the point where A, they can go nowhere, and B, they become so docile and meek that they'll do whatever you say and won't say boo about it. So it's just like, ooh, I need her to get some help. I need her to run. I need somebody to get him away from her. Now, as Keyshawn is trying to get back into the bank, she can't because the door is locked. So she looks through the window and sees Uncle Clifford and Lamarcus kissing. And she eventually gets back in, and they, like, Lamarcus and Uncle Clifford worried a little bit, but Lamarcus was like, I'll handle her. Talking about Keyshawn, which gets Uncle Clifford all hot and bothered. Don't you like it when a man will take charge just a little bit so you won't have to do like certain things? Yeah. Anyway, Autumn ended up taking Mercedes back to her apartment. They talking about how Autumn off the sauce, she not drinking no more, which is a good thing. And then they start talking about Autumn running and being caught in the flood and the fact that, she had her daughter with her and she got swept away in the flood. And so did, like, her daughter got swept away in the flood. And she spent days upon days looking for her little girl and she couldn't find her. find her, and she felt that because she decided to run with her daughter and she lost her, that she shouldn't be here. So it's just like all that pain of losing that little girl really just like is building up until she's about to explode, and eventually she will. And she talks about how finding that suitcase with the what is it, Letitia, whatever it is, Savage's information in there was like a new life, a new beginning for her, which we know we met Autumn, aka Haley, when she found the suitcase. So talking about what led to the very first episode. Now Autumn tells Mercedes, she needs help getting the rest of her money. And if she does help her, she'll run her 10 stacks by the end of the week. And Mercedes is like, okay, I'll help you. And they go to the down to the money, not the money place, but go to wherever there's a computer to like do a transfer of money. And Autumn is about to put Mercedes whole government on there to transfer the money. She was like, don't you do that. Put my stripper name down there. She was like, Mercedes is not your stripper name. No, the last thing you ate in the color your underwear. So Crystal S. Flowers, which she ate. The last thing she ate was Crystal's, the restaurant, and her panties got flowers on them. But I say doing that because she was like she need about 10 fake IDs to get the rest of the money. So they gonna have Maine, who is Mercedes' neighbor, who also came to see her last dance, who be in and out of jail because he won't snitch. He be doing the fakes. They gonna have him help. Okay. And then we see old dude from the police station eating crystals and watching the transactions being made. So I was like, Haley, is this the man you're running from? And if so, is he crazy? Or like, is he trying to get you back? He's trying to get the money back. Like, what's going on? And that was it for episode 5. I'll come back to y'all for episode 6 later on today. And then, if you like the content on this channel and if you're new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe, and turn your post notifications on. And if you're not new to the channel and you don't like the content on this channel, still like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people. Because you may not like me, but somebody out there does. And if you would like to get in touch with me for any type of business, you want to follow me on social media, or you want to bless me with a little something, everything's in the description box where below and on this ticker that is going, like, that keeps going at the bottom. And